Hello, everybody, and welcome to this 10th episode of a webinar series of the Geneva Center for Security Policy on global risk, global crisis, and global consequences. My name is Marc Rickli, and I'm the head of global risk and resilience at Geneva Center for Security Policy, GCSP. The GCSP is an international non-profit foundation physically based in Geneva, Switzerland, comprised of 52 member states and now 53 in its foundation council, of which all the permanent member of the Security Council. The GCSP missions are to promote peace and international security, prepare and transform individuals and organizations so they can create a safer world, as well as educating people in security policy. We are impartial, independent, and inclusive. Does achieve its objective through several tracks, through executive education, research, public discussion, as well as innovative fellowship program to executives in transition. The community has grown substantially over the last years, and we are now reaching more than 8,200 alumni around in 165 nations around the world. When we started this webinar series 10 weeks ago, the coronavirus was approaching 1 million infection, and more than 48,000 people, almost 48,000 people had passed away. This week, we are more than 6.5 million infections, so 6.5 more than 10 weeks ago, and more than 386,000 people passed away worldwide, so more than 8 times 10 weeks ago. And as you remember last week, the United States scoring the most dead with more than 100,000 this day. Today's topic is very important and has to do with UN peace operation. We have a very distinguished panel. First, we'll have my colleague, Ms. Annika Helding-Norberg. She's the head of peace operation and peace building at the GCSP. She will talk about the political and strategic consequences of the COVID-19 on peace operation. Then we'll have Mr. Luis Correa, from UN police advisor from New York headquarters, and he will talk about strategic and overall perspective of UN peace operation, also highlighting the role of women. Then we'll have Ms. Natasha Ritsko, coordinator of the UN panel of experts on Somalia and also a GCSP global fellow. She will talk about the need to strengthen conflict analysis for peace operation, looking specifically apparently at Somalia. Then we'll have Mr. Ralph Meyer, GCSP Executive in Residence Fellow, as well as non-resident advisor to the International Peace Institute, as well as a former UN civil servant at the DPKO, Department of Peacekeeping Operation. Then we'll have Ambassador Yvette Stevens. She's the former permanent representative of Sierra Leone to the United Nations in Geneva, and also a GCSP executive in residence. She will bring the host nation perspective of peace operation. And finally, not least, Dr. Mike Kelly, President Palantir Technologies Australia, but also former Minister for Defense Material in Australia. And he will talk about the use of new technology and big data to strengthen UN peace operation. So today we managed to gather people on 14 different time zones that spread from 10 in the morning to midnight. So quite an achievement. And this is also one of the advantage of using digital technologies. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, that published an update about its peace operation fact sheet last week, while the number of UN and non-UN multilateral peace operation increased slightly in 2019, with one additional peace operation for a total of 61 multilateral peace operation, the number of personnel deployed in this operation decreased. The data showed that the number of personnel in multilateral peace operation, including military, police, and international civil personnel, decreased by 4.8% from 31st of December 2018 to 31st of December 2019. The decreasing personnel number can be explained by reduction in and of closures of a number of large operations in recent years, with a successor operation being of smaller size. While the number of personnel serving in all unit operations decreased in 2019, the number of proportion of women deployed in them increased. On the 31st December 2019, women accounted for 5.3% of military personnel compared to 4.2% a year earlier, and 15% of police personnel compared to 13% in 2018. CIPRI estimates that on the 31st of December 2019, the 10 largest multilateral peace operations accounted for 90% of personnel deployed in multilateral peace operations globally. 7 of the 10 largest operations were conducted by the UN, and 7 were operating in sub-Saharan Africa. AMISOM, the African Union mission in Somalia, is the largest operation. Although the number of personnel deployed in sub-Saharan Africa decreased by 5.8% in 2019, sub-Saharan Africa still accounted for 71% of all peace operation personnel. While sub-Saharan Africa maintained the highest number of peace operations and personnel overall, the data indicates also a slight shift in attention towards the MENA region, with 2 new peace operations, an EU-led operation in Libya and a UN-led operation in Yemen in 2019. Meanwhile, the data also indicates that fatality rates were low in all UN peace operations, except for the UN multidimensional integrated stabilization mission, MINUSMA, in Mali. There were 28 personnel fatalities attributed to malicious acts in UN peace operation in 2019, 1 more than the previous year. And of these hostile deaths, 23 were uniformed personnel, of which all but 1 were deployed with MINUSMA. The fact that most of the deaths are in MINUSMA have to do also probably the fact that this operation is tied to, linked to international counterterrorism strategies in the Sahel. When it comes to troops contributing countries, we can see that Ethiopia topped the list. The United States is the second largest contributor, but a very poor contributor to UN peace operation. Its biggest contribution is in NATO-led resolute support mission in Afghanistan. The remaining top 10 contributors are located in sub-Saharan Africa as well as South Asia. So the question is, how is the COVID-19 crisis impacting these dynamics? We've seen that on the 23rd of March this year, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for a global ceasefire. He reiterated his call in the 3rd of April. Unfortunately, due to different view, the US of the US and China, no global resolution could actually be adopted. And during that time, between March 23 and May 15, more than 660,000 people around the world had to flee their home. And so the question, how will this dynamic impact peace operation? Is the COVID crisis, will the COVID-19 crisis make the situation worse, or will this improve this?